Welcome to the first edition of Rome Elite Sports TV. I'm your host, Michael Atwater, with my co-host, Ricky Langston, as we get ready to preview the 2014 high school football season. We have a select group of Rome High players that we will be bringing in here in a little bit. But first, let's go back and review the 2000 high school football season. And last year in 6A, the North Cross Blue Devils were the champions. In 5A, the Creekside Seminoles, Rick, were the 5A champions. They had a player, DeAndre Turman, died in the preseason last year, and Creekside rode on his momentum, and they were the 5A champions last year, defeating Tucker.
And we were at that game. It was a great game. In fact, it had a little added edge to it. Creekside previous coach had went to Tucker, so he was the coach of Tucker. And, you know, it was an inner city battle.
4A champion was the Griffin Bears, led by quarterback Jacob Parks, who is at Kennesaw State now. The 3A champions, and always the champion, the Buford Wolves. The 2A champions were the Lovett Lions, and in 1A, which they played public and private, you had Marion County, a school down in South Georgia, and you had Aquinas, public school near Augusta, for the champions. So that was a look at the 2013 season. Let's fast forward here to the 2014 season. And each year, every 2 years, in Georgia High School Association, they do region reclassification, and nothing is different this year with reclassification. In Region 7-5A, in the A side, you have Cass, Creekview, Dalton, River Ridge, Sequoia, Woodland of Cartersville, and Rome. On the B side of Region 7-5A, Cambridge, Forsyth Central, Kell, North Atlanta, North Springs, Riverwood, and Sprayberry. Rick, elaborate a little bit about Region 7-5A.
Region 7-5A is going to be a real tough region. On the A side, you'll have Rome and Creekview probably battling to come out of the A side. On the B side, it'll probably be Kell, who was more dominant last year, and they went pretty deep into the playoffs.
Not Dalton, bro. Not the Dalton Catamount.
Well, Dalton Catamount still rebuilding for 2 years ago. They got a solid run game, but until they develop a passing game, it's going to be hard to win on that level.
The new Region 7-4A, you have the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes, Gilman County, Heritage of Catoosa, Lafayette, Northwest Whitfield, Pickens County, which has one of the most underrated running backs in the state of Georgia, Richland, and Southeast Whitfield. Talk about 7-4A, Rick.
7-4A. Talking with people about the preseason game last night with Cartersville. They seem to have a Cam Newton, freshman quarterback for Cartersville, 6'4", about 190 pounds. And to speak on the running back from Pickens, his name is Shannon Brooks. He was kind of overshadowed last year with the outstanding record and the yardage that Nick Chubb did. But this running back, he gained about 160 yards a game. He'll be one to look at this year.
In 5-3A, Callaway from LaGrange, Georgia, Callaway Cavaliers, which perhaps has one of the top players in all the state of Georgia, Terry Goodwin, who is committed to the University of Georgia. Then you have the Cedartown Bulldogs, Central Harrison County, Pepperell, and Rockmart. So kind of, as far as proximity, Callaway will be the farthest school. But talk about Region 5-3A, Rick, with Callaway and Cedartown. I can possibly see them battling it out for the championship of the region.
Yeah, it's a tough draw, but Callaway is always good. And I'm just glad to see that Cedartown was allowed into this season, because last year Rockmart was having to go all the way across to the other side of Atlanta to find a game. So now they have a common foe. They can go to Cedartown and play, and it's more regional play. But in the end, it'll probably be Cedartown and Callaway for money on that side.
6 AAA, Adairsville, Kahula Creek, Gordon Central, LFO, Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, Murray County, North Murray, Ringgold, Sonoraville, and the Calhoun Yellow Jackets. Calhoun Yellow Jackets on last Friday evening annihilated the Rome Wolves 42-17 in the scrimmage in Calhoun, which we'll get into that in a little bit. Calhoun's quarterback, Kaylin Riley, amassed 700 yards of total offense. Talk about this Region 6 AAA.
6 AAA will be an interesting region. I believe Calhoun will come out of this region because they were moved into a group of teams that they've played for the last 10 years and that they've dominated for the last 10 years. And I kind of believe that Calhoun would have a decline this year, but after seeing them last night, they're ready.
You think Ringo or Daz will have any chance of beating Calhoun?
I think that Ringo is the one that's contested for the money. After the whooping that Daz took last night from Cass, I'm wondering about Daz.
In Region 728, a lot of local teams here in the Rome area. You have our Mercy, Chattooga, Coosa, Dade County, Darlington made the move from 1A to AA, as well as Gordon Lee and Model. 7 teams in Region 728. What do you think about 728, Rick?
Region 728. When we roll the dice, Models will come out on top. Model has a lot of speed. They say out there in Model it's like basketball on turf. So I think the Darlington will contend because they're always well coached and well disciplined. But in the end, I think Model will come out of that.
Model, and last Friday evening as well in the scrimmage, did pretty good against Pepper. Mikael Watkins had scored 2 touchdowns. In 618, another area of interest in this region, or this area, A side of 618, Christian Heritage, Mount Perrin, Mount Zion, North Cobb Christian, Tryon and Walker, and on the B side, Fellowship Christian, Kingsridge, Mount Pegasus, Pinecrest Academy, St. Francis, and Whitfield Academy. This region is really known for high school basketball, so we'll see how they do, because in Class A, it's like the BCS, they go by the power rankings in Class A football. Now, the preseason rankings for all the area high school football teams. We will be covering high school football teams in Bartow County. We'll be covering teams in Gordon County, Chattooga County, Polk County, and of course Floyd County. So all 18 teams will be ranked. They will be ranked throughout the season. But the preseason rankings, as we quickly go through this, number 18, Unity Christian. They're also playing in the new association, the Georgia Independent Christian Athletic Association. They would desperately be missing one of their top players from last year, Markel Smith, who one of the top receivers in the area. Number 17, our Mercy. Our Mercy is coming off a 1-9 season from last year, looking to regroup with a new head coach. Has some good talent out there. I'm expecting some big things from our Mercy. Coming in at number 16 was one of the teams we argued about in the rankings, Gordon Central Warriors. Last year, Gordon Central finished 0-10, had a youth movement. 2 years ago, they had a bunch of breakers out there that were making some noise at Gordon Central. But I expect Coach David Humphrey to get Gordon Central back on a winning tradition as they battle it out in the regions coming up this football season. Rick, what do you think about Gordon Central?
Well, we argued about Gordon Central, but I feel like they'll have a 2-8 season this year. They're still rebuilding from 2012 when they lost 18 seniors. But we don't have belief in Coach Humphreys, and maybe he can turn them around.
Coming in 15, the Chattooga Indians. 14, the Cass Colonel, which after that impressive win Friday evening in the scrimmage, Cass may be moving up in the rankings. 13, Woodland. Asked Rome High about Woodland from last season. Woodland is another team that's on the rise. Number 12 in the preseason rankings, the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Expect some big things from Coach Ben Turner and the Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Number 11, the Norville Indians. Last Friday evening, folks, y'all remember they have Johnny Manziel Jr. at Sonoraville. They will be making some noise for Sonoraville this upcoming season. Coming in at number 10 on the preseason rankings, the Tryon Bulldogs of Class A. Tryon Bulldogs, for some reason, Rick didn't move up like the other teams in this area. Decided to stay in Class A. Let's see what Tryon do this year. What you think about Tryon?
It's going to be a long road for Tryon. Even to find a game, Tryon is going to have to go to the other side of the line. I don't know if they didn't believe that Darlington and Bremen and Bowden would move up, but Tryon stayed packed. Pack your bags, Tryon fans.
Number 9, the Coosa Eagles. The Coosa Eagles had one of the top running backs in the area. Coosa last night defeated a young Gordon Central team. I expect Coosa to move up in the rankings. At number 8, the bare field that they play on right now is where we at in the preseason rankings. The Rome Wolves. The Rome Wolves are led by senior Desmond Johnson, defensive end, Jairus Creamer, Josh Perkins, Anthony Ellis. What are we expecting from the Rome Wolves this year in the 2014 season?
Well, the Rome Wolves have a lot of talent, but it's young talent. It's raw. But watching them in their preseason game against Calhoun, that first unit, they were real sound, they pushed to the ball. I think if they just stay disciplined and cut out the penalties and argue amongst each other, Rome will do pretty good.
I expect a big year from Desmond Johnson. He plays on my AAU team. We got a personal bet, 15 sacks this year for Desmond Johnson. He going by the name of Juju Peppers. That's his nickname, Juju Peppers. Coming in at number 7, the Purple Dragons. The Purple Dragons also last Friday evening took it tough with the Model Blue Devils, but I expect Purple to make some noise and be one of the 4 teams to make the playoffs out of Region 5 AAA. At number 6, LAC, Life After Chubb, the Cedartown Bulldogs. Nick Chubb, one of the top running backs to ever play high school football in the state of Georgia, to the top 5 in all the records. But Cedartown has a lot of talent back. Harrison Barnett, Coach Scott Hendricks, Benji Frazier, those guys have done some wonders with the Cedartown High School football program. I'm going on a limb and say Cedartown will win Region 5 AAA.
I'm a little biased about Cedartown because I have to argue every year with Coach Atwater. You know, he's a Granger and he's a Bulldog. I can't win either way, so I think the Cedartown will get one of the playoff spots in that region, but it'll be number 4, not number 1.
Hey, y'all heard it here first. Now we'll see somewhere down the line. At number 5, the Cartersville Purple Hurricanes. Cartersville last year finished with a 12-1 record. In the last 2 years, Cartersville has won 24 games. A lot of those seniors are gone now, Rick. What do you think we're expecting from Cartersville this year?
Well, I think Cartersville is one of those teams that they don't have to rebuild, they just reload, because they get the pick of the litter when it comes to the kids to go to city schools versus county, with Woodlands and Cass. And I think that Cartersville will always be a contender. They should win the region around here easily.
At number 4, their crosstown rival, coming in the preseason rankings, the Dansville Tigers, led by Coach Eric Bishop. He has taken them to the playoffs over the last 2 or 3 years. Expect some great noise from Dansville this year. Number 3 in our preseason rankings, Coach Tommy Ather and the Darlington Tigers. Darlington has a top 50 linebacker in the state of Georgia, Robert Muschamp. I expect October the 3rd, Darlington at Model for possibly for the region championship. Rick.
That's a good bet. Like I say, you'll have an added edge. You have kids from the inner city of Rome and the county playing amongst each other. It's always exciting to play against your friends.
The number 2 team in our preseason ranking, the Model Blue Devils. Rick has been ranting and raving about how much speed Model's got. He said Coach Gordon Powers, they're going to an up-tempo Oregon type offense. They have the skilled players, but does Model have enough to make some noise in the AA playoffs?
Model has plenty of offense. Spoke earlier, Kia Washington. Kia Watkins had 2 scores last night, but they have a double-headed monster. They also have Latrell Dublin. They have DJ Saxon. They have so many weapons that if he can get them all on the field together on the same page, they'll score plenty of points on offense, but we'll have to wait and see what the defense looks like.
Kyle Estes, the quarterback at Model, expect some big things from him. And the number 1 team in our preseason rankings for the Rome Elite football rankings is the Calhoun Yellow Jackets. Folks, Calhoun have won a region championship 9 straight years. I don't see why this year will be any different. Hadn't lost a region game since Obama's been in office, since Bush been in office. What you think about the Calhoun Yellow Jackets?
Calhoun Yellow Jackets, they have a great foundation, great facility. After watching them on last Friday night against the Rome Wolves, like I said, the first quarter and a half, they filled out Rome, and in the 3rd quarter, they just busted up, scoring 3 scores in 5 minutes. So they're really explosive.
Now it's time for the Rome Elite not youth football. We're getting that in another week. So the Rome Elite Prediction Center. This is where Rick and I predict the high school football games of the week and of the season. And week 1, first games we're gonna be predicting the Corky Kell Classic opening up, Carrollton and Kell. I'm going with Carrollton in this.
I'm going with Kell. I'm gonna take Kell.
Finally, I'm glad he went against me. Carrollton last year was a state finalist, losing to Griffin in the state championship game. So I think Carrollton will beat Kell. That tournament, that classic will be at McKeachin High School. Dansville and Rich.
After this Friday night, Coach, I think I'm a side with Rich. I think the Panthers will come down. They always got a fierce run game. I think they're going to be solid.
Is Von Bell there?
Von Bell cousin is there.
I'm going with the Dadsville. He's talking about Ridge, and I'm going with the Dadsville. So you got Ridgeland and Kell, and I got Carrollton and Dadsville. Or Murchie and Fellowship Christian. I have no clue what Fellowship Christian is, and I'm sure you're not going with Fellowship Christian.
If I knew one of their players, I would. It's hard to go with our Murchie, but I got to pick on them.
I'm going with our Murchie also. Coosa will be playing Riverwood. Who you going with?
I think Coosa gets revenge from Riverwood from 2 years ago, where they upset Coosa down here.
You going with who?
Maybe Coosa over Riverwood.
Okay, I'm going with Coosa also. Darlington will be traveling to North Carolina, play Murphy, North Carolina. Who you going with?
Darlington beat Murphy, North Carolina the last 5 times they played. I got to go with the Darlington side.
Unity Christian and Cornerstone Prep.
Go line.
That's the L. That's a little L. That's a lowercase L. Go Lions. Unity Christian. And now it's time for our Rome Elite game of the week, and it's the Rome High Wolves against Villa Rica. And last year, in a nutshell, Villa Rica put Rome out of the playoffs. Yeah. Beating Rome 22-20 in overtime. A fumble on a 2-point conversion caused Rome to win, caused Rome a playoff spot. And I know revenge is on Rome's mind. And speaking of Rome, we have 4 players coming on the set that are representing Rome High. We got Jairus Creamer, Desmond Johnson, Anthony Ellis. Is he ready?
87. 5, 23, 10. Anthony Ellis, cornerback, 15, 23. Alexander, the 1, running back, 15. Jairus Creamer, 20, 19, 5, 15. This is Rome Elite Sports TV. This is Rome Elite Sports TV.
Great, he ain't got that.
This is Rome Elite Sports TV.
Well, I probably flying like a bird.
This is Rome Elite Sports TV. Let go, baby!
I hope you're going to catch some passes just like you tossed that ball just then. You going to catch some passes for us?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So is Rome High on, can you safely say on the air that Rome High is going to the playoffs?
Yeah, we will be going.
What's up? That's Desmond Johnson. Next, I want to talk to a talented cornerback by the name of Anthony Ellis. Anthony, you're coming up on your senior season here. Now, let's talk about last year's game against Villa Rica. How did you feel at the end of that game? How did you feel about losing that game and putting your team out of the playoffs?
I felt like the defense was just slowed down a little bit. We just building focus. This year we just got to keep focusing and keep going through the game.
So we can get a prediction out of you this year. Rome and Villa Rica, what's the prediction? What's going to be the score?
It's going to be 21-7.
Rome 21-7 on Villa Rica. Now we want to talk to guys that on the offensive side of the ball that we hoping can make some noise and put some points on the board, like our running back, Mr. Paul Alexander here. How you doing, Paul? Talk about your upcoming football season, senior year, last year in high school. What do you think about your season this year?
We got a couple guys out there that can catch the ball. I'm at running back. And key blocks, we already to the house.
Now, you was a part of this team last year. You was on this very field. Talk about the revenge factor with Villa Rica.
Revenge, that's everything. That was a fluke that they won, so we want to go for it all. They got lucky. I ain't gonna tell you the story. They got lucky.
Well, Paul, we're expecting some big things from you. We're hoping to interview you guys about some more time this season, trying to get you in school. And now we want to go to the Calvin Johnson of Northwest Georgia High School football. Last Friday evening in the scrimmage against Calhoun, he took a slant to the house, 53 yards. Jairus Creamer, one of the top receivers in the area. Jai, talk to me about that touchdown last week against Calhoun. Talk about the play, the route, and getting to the house.
Gotta work hard, get ball.
Now, what kind of year are you expecting here, your junior year? What are you expecting to do out here been a varsity football player since your 9th grade. You was on this team last year as a sophomore against Villa. Take me back through the steps. Take me back through what you were feeling against Villa last year.
We shouldn't have lost another time.
So Rome blank, Villa blank this year. What's gonna be the score?
Yeah, it don't matter what the score is. Long come out that W.
That's all that matters. So you just talked to 4 prominent players for Rome High. I think Desmond Johnson had something else to say before we go off the air about with this being his senior year. Desmond, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I just want y'all to know that this year is our year. We're making the playoffs. I'm gonna try to go all the way. I'm gonna do everything I can on defense to help my team and put us in a better position in the playoffs.
For a 5-5 season, a revenge game with Villa. Rome is a young football team. I looked on the roster, they only have 10 seniors. I think I'm going with the Rome High Wolves, 35, Villa 14. Go Wolves. Well, see, he alumni. Well, East Rome don't count, so he alumni.
I'm glad it is.
You're glad that you ain't gonna claim the Wolves?
I believe blue and gold.
Oh, okay. Well, Rome is red and gold. So that's what we rolling with. Rome 35, Villa 14. We'll have footage next week on the show from our Rome Elite Game of the Week, Rome and Villa. Also, we'll be at Model High School talking to Coach Fowles and some of the players at Model. The Rome Middle School program, a lot of people don't know Rome Middle School won the state championship last year. We'll talk to the coaches and players, and we also have our Rome Elite Prediction Center, predicting games of the week, college football coming up. We're going to be all over the place. So until next week, I'm Mike Atwater. Rome High Wolves got something to say.
We coming, baby. We at the head.
You know, we here, baby. We about that time, baby. We coming.
We here, baby.
Number 1.
Coming up Friday.
Home game.
87 watch for him.